Let's just straight start back with another reaction. Right now we got Mr.beast. Apparently got caught stealing. Apparently everybody just decided to put my dog on display. You know? But it is what it is. Let's see what dude have to say. Eating some avocado right now.
Mr. Beast gave me a fake job, flew me out there to work. I worked my butt off, took all my ideas, sent me home and told me there wasn't a job available, and then proceeded to not only do that, but then to take my ideas, steal, and then make a video.
Another day, another dollar. Mr. Beast's getting exposed yet again by another employee, and it's time for me,
all the employees
commentary
really
channel, to milk him for money to pay
exposing
my
him
rent.
now.
The plot twist in this one is
It's
crazy,
really a shame.
so stay tuned till the end because I promise it won't disappoint. No intro today.
They really can't do nothing to him
We're
anyway.
taking
He
this
done up.
seriously. So the creator I'm talking about is named Ty Orr, and he came out with a little bit of a hit piece on Mr. Beast, claiming that he worked for him, and it was quite a doozy, let me tell you.
Making ideas for him to make videos. I swear to God, that's what my job is. It's not editing, and that's what I got from our meetings.
To not misrepresent anything, I gotta give you guys some further context. Basically, this guy
should be
wasn't
happy with that,
directly
bro. You
hired
get
by
paid
Mr.
for that.
Beast, but he was sort of kind of like invited to fly into their headquarters for a bit of a vibe check.
Just because you
Working at
get
Mr.
more of
Beast,
your
we are
idea.
collaborative first, and I was forward your submission.
He's the one who
Don't
put
know
it
how you
into
got
play,
it,
bro.
but let's keep going. If you're interested, I would love to
Freaking
chat
out.
about your potential full-time or contract role work on Mr. Beast's creative team.
You know, they're going back and forth. They're jiggling at his balls. He's going to be meeting the team.
Teamwork
checking out the
makes the
studios,
dream work,
yada, yada.
all right?
He'll be paying for his flights, his hotel, his Popeyes. I don't know.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I'm not going to show
Bro,
you guys
and
all
you
the
get free
texts and
flights,
back and
bro, like,
forths they went to because honestly,
think about it,
it's not
like,
really
bro,
that
you
important.
living,
You can
bro,
check out the
and you
full
won't
video
complain?
yourself. But here's the part where we get
Probably
Carolina
because you got
Reaper
fired.
spicy, because
That's
before they flew
crazy.
this guy out,
You
they
didn't
had him,
have
like,
no
fill out
problem
this
all this
form
time, and now
to pick
you
between two videos
have a
and write
problem.
out
That's
prompts for
crazy.
them. The world's most dangerous trap room. 24 hours to spend $1 million.
The world's most dangerous trap rooms. So we're taking a look right here. I have the prompt and it says the world's most dangerous trap room. And in my intro, I have PT hallway. I have the elevator, floating obstacle course. Instead of using floating blocks, which is impossible, we will use floating rack hoisted by 4 cranes. Floating rack hoisted 200 feet in the air. Each section of the obstacle course will change depending on the distance made. Start from one platform to another to advance.
And who
Safety
had to
harness
pay
will
to
be
put your
eliminated due to
ideas
the
into
net
play, bro?
underneath the platform.
Sounds a bit familiar to me, hey?
So I want to talk a little bit more about my experience of being at the Mr. Beast warehouse. I've never once personally ever signed an NDA. In all my emails and all my correspondences and all my text messages, I have never once ever signed an NDA. But what I think what they're doing, there is an iPad as soon as you get to the warehouse, as soon as you walk in, and you have to sign in. And they ask you things like your first name, last name, email address, all that, phone number and stuff like that. And I have a very, very, very high suspicion that when you sign your name in there and you sign in, I think you're also signing an NDA.
Well, I guess that is feasible, feastable.
Let's be fair. Jimmy's like been, you know, he's under a lot of right
Bro,
now.
ain't nothing
But
y'all
this,
could do with
you
Jimmy
can't
right
really
now, bro.
criticize it, right? I just said
Jimmy
that as he's giving all the kids face.
will just be
Some
Jimmy.
morons might think I'm writing for Mr. Beast, but I'm pretty sure that concealing an NDA is literally a crime. Now, I'm no lawyer, but how do you miss an NDA? Shouldn't it be like right there? Shouldn't it be pretty obvious? I'm pretty sure this guy didn't sign any NDAs. I think he's genuinely good. He's just a little paranoid, and I don't blame him. It's Mr. Beast. He's coming for him. Anyway, this guy goes over Mr. Beast studio structure.
Why are they trying to make Mr. Beast look so evil? I mean, I could be wrong, but
notes and all that fun stuff. And
we're working on a video.
He
We're
being
working on a video
around-
called the
he
world's
being
most
around,
dangerous
like,
obstacle course. Now
Lil
we
Wild,
are getting to the part where you
know?
finally can understand
And y'all
why-
finally coming up with
I'm
this stuff.
so mad,
Like,
so
why?
upset.
Why you just
straight
get
up Five
upset,
Nights
bro?
at Freddy's jump scared me. Goddamn.
Here
Let's
now,
make
I'm
it
gonna
make
start
sense.
Speaking more
Let's hear it.
theoretically, so I don't get sued. So there may or may not have walls in this Mr. Beast studio.
I doubt they have walls in there, you liar. Obviously, this is clipped out of context, but it's funny.
Have walls in this Mr. Beast studio where they're all dry erase marker, where you can just write anything. So if you have an idea, like, oh crap, I don't want to forget it. So C1 has been working on this with me and the other guy, I don't know his name, and we're working on, like, as you can see, the intro, the hook, the money mechanic.
Oh god, it's a little too familiar here, except this guy's more violent. He has a battle axe, a frickin' sword.
This was my idea. I'm inspired by Mario because my kids love the Mario movie. They loved it so much they named my dog Mario. Hold on. Mario!
Bro named his dog
Bro,
after some
we
milk.
do not need to
I
see a
think I put
dog.
that in my prompt as well. If anyone's ever seen Mario, they have the floating blocks, and I wanted to see how I can make an obstacle course with those floating blocks. I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I realized it's just impossible to make floating blocks in the air. I don't.
Yeah, well then what's this, liberal, huh? Got an answer for this one? Didn't think so. I can go on for days.
This is a picture that I
Minecraft.
drew for this pitch for this idea.
You didn't
I
get
pitched
inspired
my
from
idea, they
Minecraft,
love it.
bro?
They've set a date, they set a location, and now they have a new renewed budget for this video. 1.7 million.
1.7 million?
1.7 million. Remember Sammy Jenkins. Do not forget this number.
So after all that, I'm feeling great. I
1.7
got a verbal
million
confirmation that
is
was
the
good
budget.
to go. Everything was perfect. I know about everything was.
Are you
literally
gonna
perfect
play that to
until I
make
got
it
home.
come to
Until I got home, that's
reality?
when everything started to happen.
Tell me, are you gonna
Unfortunately,
play
I've
that?
decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right.
Bro failed the vibe check. That is actually tragic.
Maybe that's true. But then I started to think about it a little bit more. And I didn't want to let it bother me. So I said, hey Dylan, that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe another time, like you said. Candidly, may I ask if I presented myself poorly or rubbed the crew wrongly in any way? Talking about here because I know I did.
Just like your first high school relationship, a man needs his closure, and they're hitting them with stuff like, it wasn't you, it's me.
Did not rub anyone the wrong way or present yourself poorly. We're going through some reorganization with the team and are limited on roles we have open for teams.
Sorry, we have no space to hire anybody. It's currently filled up by Chris Tyson and his entourage of minors.
But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all.
Why?
Not a single word until I saw this on Twitter. Just uploaded
Okay.
the most insane video we've ever done. Go watch.
Bear in mind, he didn't get paid for anything, and this is such a punch to the face for him, I imagine. Now, I'm
Oh.
not saying Mr.beast knew. I don't know that for a fact, but this gotta hurt regardless.
Take a look at this picture. Take a good, hard look at this picture. Does that remind you of anything you've seen so far? Does it remind you of anything you've seen remotely close to it? Or does it look like the exact same thing that I drew? The exact same thing that I pitched? Everything.
Insert the Office meme here. They're the same photo. Like, what?
His employees not only took the time to exploit me, to have me work for them under the false pretenses of a job that wasn't, that they weren't available or able to give at the time.
This scenario would be nowhere near as bad if Mr.beast didn't use any of his ideas, but the issue is he sorta did. He sorta misled him into
Yeah.
thinking he was getting a job, and he didn't get it. And then he makes a wild claim, which
So he
if
wasn't
true,
getting
is
paid for this.
extremely disgusting
That's
for
a cool
Mr.
lie.
Because apparently Mr.beast would do this and cycle a lot of people.
Many people go in and out, in and out. On my second day, there was like a different group that I saw the day before, and then they were on their last day, and then on my last day there was a group of people that was their first day. You're trying to tell me you didn't have any positions? You didn't have any positions at all?
Imagine a hypothetical where every single person cycling through these rooms and studios is actually there.
Oh,
under the
that's
same
facts.
pretenses that
Bro,
he
you
was. They're,
always
like,
firing
offered a
people
job,
and
but
you have no
nobody actually
positions
gets the
available?
job. They're paid in flights, hotels,
Come on,
false
Mr. Beast.
promises and tears. And you know what? I was on this guy's side.
What's
He had the music
done
playing. I
in
was
the
into
dark
it, and then he fumbled everything.
comes
Because you either die a
to
hero
the
or live
light.
long enough to see yourself become a villain.
So please support your boy.
Sooner or
And,
later.
let's just hope I don't have to do a part two.
And
I
that
am,
ain't
though.
right.
Yeah, he basically said, you random viewer watching, I got scabbed, so now give me money.
1.7 million.
1.7 million?
If you remember that number from earlier, the guy actually made his GoFundMe 1.7 million. Yeah, he deserves the full budget of the video because of this, and he wants you to pay it. Mr.beast and his team are low-key scumbags for taking this video, but come on, bro. You're using this situation to profit financially? I think you're
Facts.
the thief here.
Come
Took
on,
down
bro.
the GoFundMe and apologized.
You
and
can't be
refunded
trying to
everyone,
do
which is a
right
good thing to
and,
do,
like,
but in my opinion, this
trying to
really
do wrong at the
discredits him
same
and
time,
makes
bro.
him look opportunistic. We
If
get that
anything,
you
go
got
take that up
yoinked,
with
but
Mr.
you don't gotta
Beast.
yoink other people, innocent people.
Take it up
watching
with
your
Jimmy,
video.
fool.
This just rubbed me insanely the wrong way.
1.7 million?
People got such a big hate boner for Mr.beast that his video isn't even doing that bad. Like, are you guys retarded? How easy is it to manipulate you morons? And by moron, I mean everybody who isn't subscribed to WestJet, because everybody knows that all of my subscribers are genius. Mr.beast, you scumbag. Pay this guy $1.7 million.
Okay. That's obviously not enough for me. That's obviously not enough for me. And really and truly, I need to figure out more about this Mr. Beast situation. You know, One day ago, Mr. Beast situations keeps getting worse. New info.
So it looks like we have yet another update on the whole Mr. Beast situation. This YouTube channel called Ty Orr uploaded a video called I Also
Ty
Work for
Orr.
Mr. Beast, He's a Thief. And in this video, he goes on to explain how he flew out to one of the Mr. Beast production studios. They reached out to him for a job opportunity.
I don't. Did I not?
So it looks like we have yet another update on the
Did I-
whole Mr. Beast situation. This YouTube channel called Ty Orr uploaded
Oh, my bad. My bad. It's Ty R. There we go. I also work for Mr. Beast. It's like
Everything I'm about to say is 100% true, and if at any point I
I
say
need to figure out
anything
more
that may
about
be
this, bro.
controversial, suspect, or too good to be
it was
true,
just getting
and
good,
I
then it
don't
just
have
cut out of
to
nowhere. I
advantage
didn't
of,
know.
I do, and I got an email in which I thought was a scam. I mean, for real, look at this. Even you would think the same thing if you got a random email saying Mr. Beast follow-up when you didn't even remember reaching out in the first place. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't remember reaching out to him. In my line of work, I work for big name YouTubers, mostly in the sports niche, but it has its range. I've done videos for House of Highlights, Game Day, Zach TTG, Jesser, Papa Standamus, Not So Air Jordan, and then I currently edit for MMG. Not to
Okay.
mention I did do the
Okay.
2022 NFL playoff commercials.
See,
So it's
I
pretty
knew it
normal
was
to
more,
have
bro.
people reach
I
out
just
to
had
me
to, like,
because they see
find
my
it.
work from other creators and all the other work that I've done for them. So when I got this email, I decided to give it a chance. I responded in the email and then I proceeded to post a Facebook post because I was so happy. Everything is dated, and to make
My
sure
head
this
just
information is credible,
My
it
rubber
helps it
bands.
set well with you. Pay attention to these days. It's not
Oh, no.
premeditated, and I obviously had no idea Chris Tyson would be such a perv, so there's no way I would make
What?
these posts in advance of like some kind of trick. I also have decided to log into my actual Facebook and show my actual email rather than screenshots, so you know that it's not photoshopped. So on February 2nd, I posted, so I got a job offer from Mr. Beast today. Video call on Monday. Wish your boy luck. Now let's go into the comments because I want you guys to be definitively sure that I didn't just make this post. 26 weeks ago, all this is 26 weeks ago, and it would take a whole bunch of time to just make up all these fake people, and then to go on
That's
their
facts.
then to
That's
go on their
facts.
profile and see that they're friends with the same people I'm friends with, having what 62 mutual friends, and then going, you know, it's a little bit too much here, right?
Right,
So I
really?
didn't. None of these are faked at all. This is my actual
going
Facebook
through all of
page.
this.
So that's the post I made on February 2nd. Now, I will go to my email, but for now, I really do want to show you the post. Mr. Beast follow-up. Hey, thanks for submitting your info
I've
to our
been through
casting
that.
team to
It's,
receive
it's
them for the
just-
very first time. Like I said on my Facebook, and like I said before in the email, Monday, February 5th, 2024. My second
Okay,
call
so
was
that's
not
when he was
only
getting
with
hired.
Dylan, but now it has Dylan, Hoodie, and someone named Kara, which I have never met. I've never once met Kara, so you won't hear anything about a Kara in this video. And this took place on Wednesday, February 7th, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was the second call. For another email also on February 7th, 2024, this was directly right after the call I had with Hoodie, Dylan, and Kara, and within that conversation they basically told me that I needed to make a prompt. And when I say prompt, let me just read the email. Hello Ty, we would like for you to come in for a vibe check. Vibe check means you come in for a few days to see if you're good, see if you're a good worker, see, you know, people are not going to be annoyed by you, and see if they can move further on with the hiring
Which makes
process.
sense.
If possible, we'd like for you to come in for 3 days
And the
at
thing
some
is,
point
I
next
was
week.
always saying,
I've got a
like, back
recruiting
then I was
coordinator,
like, oh,
Leslie, CC'd on this
if I
email.
work for
She will
Mr.
help you
Beast,
figure out the
it's
days in which you
over.
can make it and handle your
You know,
travel
I'm up.
arrangements.
But
Now, this is
no.
the most
This dude
important
be
email
doing people
of
dirty,
all.
bro.
What they want me to do is to do 2 video prompts. Attached, you will find 2 video prompts. Pick one that inspires you the most and document and write out how you envision it. Really let your creativity flow and assume everything is possible. So in each of these prompts, one of them is the world's most dangerous trap room, and the other is 24 hours to spend $1 billion. I went with the world's most dangerous trap room because spending $1 billion in 24 hours just seems kind of boring and, quite frankly, linear. I think I have more creativeness than that. That's just not something I want to do. And then, like we mentioned before, this is Leslie sending me an email. Thanks, Ty. Are you able to fly in on Tuesday, be on office Wednesday through Friday, and fly back out on Saturday morning? Of course, I said yes, and she gave me all my travel info. So now we're going to get into like the more just deep in the details here. So like I said, if I don't show proof, don't assume that I'm telling the truth. if I don't show proof for everything that I'm saying, assume that I'm literally lying about everything that I'm saying, okay? So in that email, it did say, I realized that the footage was kind of cloudy when it comes to OBS and recording the screen, so I will put screenshots of those messages up there. But in the email, it did say that I had those 2 prompts, and the 2 prompts was something about spending $1 billion in a day in 24 hours, and the other one was the world's most dangerous trap rooms. So we're taking a look right here. I have the prompt, and it says the world's most dangerous trap room. And in my intro, I have PT hallway, I have the elevator, I have the Squid Games glass challenge, I have bloodthirst, and I have mole maze. And within these things in my prompt, I do have like variations. So first one, I can see the variation. So right here, underneath elevator, I wrote one thing. The ultimate goal is to escape the elevator before it reaches the top floor and the bottom falls out beneath you. But I also have a second variation. Pick, lock, tool, groove, chain in the wall. Goal is the same except the elevator moves a little faster. Move the chain, object, lock, pick, tool to unlock the locks on the roof, and the elevator reaches the top. So, you ever play those games where there's like a little plastic thing and it has grooves all over? It's like a maze, and you got to move that ball through. Well, essentially, that's what I did for this video, except you're chained to the thing, and you got to move the ball through the grooves with the key that has a key on it, so you can reach one lock. And there's locks on each 4 corners of the elevator.
Okay.
So when you get this lock, now you gotta go through the maze again. And now you gotta
Oh,
go
so
and
this
take
was
this
the
lock
genius
out
behind,
and unlock that so you can escape the elevator.
behind the
If you
games,
don't,
huh?
the whole thing just plummets to the ground. I thought that was a pretty dope idea, right? So
Yeah, it was.
I did that, but I also made 2 of them because I wanted to make a variation of it. So also here in Squid Games, that was another thing. I made a different variation of what was already done, and I did that. That was part of my pitch. Now, well, let's keep going down because I think it's somewhere around. I think actually no, it's the Squid Games one right here. In the second variation of the Squid Games, I say Mario style. Floating obstacle course. Instead
that's
of
the
using
one that
floating
they
blocks,
stole.
which is impossible, we will use floating
Okay.
rack hoisted by 4 cranes.
Okay.
Floating rack hoisted 200
That's
feet
the
in
one
the
that
air.
they stole.
Each section of the obstacle course will change depending on the distance made. Start from one platform to another to
Isn't
advance.
that crazy?
Safety harness will be eliminated due to the net underneath the platform. Now, with that, so we have an idea that I wanted to do. So I want to talk a little bit more about my experience of being at the Mr.beast warehouse. I've never once personally ever signed an NDA.
Okay,
in all my
we heard about
emails and all
this.
my correspondences
We
and
heard
all my
about this,
text messages, I have
the
never
NDA.
once ever. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's
what's
true.
that?
I'm just saying I'm thinking
You know?
because I don't want to get sued by them because I'm like I said earlier, I'm a nobody. Anyways, I get to
Facts.
the warehouse and they have multiple different like studios. Studios as in workshops where you work at, creative, thumbnail, editing, ideation, all these things, right?
Oh, okay.
So they take me to, for
Creative.
legal purposes, I will say, for legal reasons, I will say Studio 1. Studio 1
Ah.
of creative. I go to Studio
Okay,
1,
cool.
you know, whatever, it's all right. We're working on the video. We're doing the, in 10 minutes, like actual 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, this video explodes. And I mean, this this building explodes. I worked on that for a little bit. Wasn't really feeling it. Wasn't really my jam. We went out. I will put a little video up here of me working on like a little laser challenge for that. Wasn't really my jam. Wasn't really that good at all either. Anyway, if I'm being honest. So I went to the next one. And by the way, I'm sorry, I'm skipping all over the place. This was actually the second day of me being there because the first day I spent my entire day in my hotel, which was boring, but for whatever reasons, I couldn't go in the first day, so I spent the first day in my hotel. The second day is when I would start, going to these workshops. On the third day, I was told to go to a different studio. We'll say Studio 2, and I'm working on a video, and the video is, what was the video's name? It was another one that had nothing to do with anything. Anyways, I go through the whole day, Hoodie. It was also in one of the emails earlier, and he's like, and when it comes to chain of command, I think he's third in chain of command total. So you have Mr.beast, you have Tyler, you have Jackson the head writer, and then you have Hoodie. And Hoodie
No
was in
picture
charge of all
available.
these things. I
You're
actually had my
criminally.
vibe check call with Hoodie. I had my second call with Hoodie. I was in contact with Hoodie and Leslie, the coordinator, if you remember that. And everything was going through Hoodie. The guy's a great guy. He's a great guy. He took care of me. He really like gave me great information, great feedback. So as I'm going through this video, I want you guys to remember, I'm not attacking these people. I'm attacking the company, because whatever happens in the company is a reflection of Mr.beast. It's not a reflection of the people who are doing the things like what they're doing. Your company is a reflection of what happens. It doesn't matter who does it. If your company is ran that way, it is a reflection of you. You got to take responsibility here. So I do my pitch, and Hoodie says, you know what? I
so
want you to
everything
go
they do
shadow some
reflects
people
on Mr.beast.
for the rest of the day.
That's crazy.
I want you to go work with this
that's
team
life,
and
though.
see how you can contribute to them. So let's break down the positions in the MrBeast company. You have C1. C1 is the head person of that department. So if you're in creative, you're C1. So creative, studio 1, C1. So there's creative studio 2, there's a C1 for that. Creative studio 3, there's a C1 for that. Then ideation, studio 1, C1. Ideation, studio 2, same thing.
Okay.
They're just levels. They're just like the head honcho of that department. And then within that, you also have a C2 and a C3. I assume C2 is like the person who are in between, and I know C3 is like the bitch of the company. They just write notes. They don't do
They just a
anything.
donkey.
They just write notes. Whatever is said, they take notes. They take minutes, and they write everything. They're
Well, tie me up and call me a donkey.
The grunts of that department. I went
Facts.
to this new room that Hoodie told me to go to, and there was 3 positions. Well, there was 2 positions at the time. I don't know where the third one's at. There was only a C3 and then a C2. I mean, a C1. The C1's name was C. The C3, I
Say
mean,
what?
I talked to him
Come
for
again?
like 30 seconds. I don't know what his name was. And we were working on a video. We're working on a video called The World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course. Now we are getting to the part where you finally can understand why I'm so mad, so upset that I got scammed. I got absolutely scammed by the biggest YouTuber in the entire world.
Okay,
this is where
bro,
you're gonna find
that's
out
life.
why I was upset.
But let's
Now,
hear.
it's gonna come full circle. I'm gonna have to tell you everything. We're working on the video, World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course, and I want to show some videos and proof of what I did. From here on out, I'm gonna start speaking more theoretically so I don't get sued. So there
Okay,
may
so this is where he explained
may
the
not
obstacle
have
course that he
walls
pitched
in
in.
this MrBeast studio where they're all dry
It's
erase
not-
marker where you can just write anything. So if you have an
Alright.
idea, like, oh
This
crap,
looks
and
a
the other
little
guy, I don't know
new.
his name, and we're working on, like, as you can see, the intro, the hook, the money mechanic. Right here, we're looking at, this is the most important part, it's just rooms. When I saw rooms, when we were brainstorming rooms, I'm like, dang, okay, rooms. I just did a prompt on the world's dangerous trap rooms. This is perfect. I can do this. It doesn't exactly follow the obstacle course, so I can kind of use my room idea with this. I mean, if you look at all these ideas, whatever, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I'm looking at the most is all the way at the bottom. It looked like it says Marlo, but it says Mario. Mario is my was my idea. I'm inspired by Mario because my kids love the Mario movie. They love it so much they named my dog Mario. Hold on. Mario.
Oh, okay.
Mario.
They named your dog Mario. I thought
Good
you
boy.
did that.
This
You
is
said-
Mario.
Oh,
my dog.
there's
Living
Mario.
proof that
We
my
didn't see
kids
Mario.
named my dog Mario because they love the Mario. They love the movie Mario so much. So I was inspired by that, and I think I put that in my prompt as well. If anyone's ever seen Mario, they have the floating blocks, and I wanted to see how I can make an obstacle course
crazy.
with those floating blocks. I thought
So
about it,
we
and I
saw
thought
all
about
of
it, and I
this,
thought
we
about
saw
it,
all
and I
of this.
realized it's just impossible to make floating blocks.
What is he saying
videos.
here?
I just figured, why not? It makes it such much of a better video. So I pitched this idea, and they absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. The only person who didn't like it was C1 because it wasn't her idea. So when it came down to our meeting later that day, so we were there for
got some
hours
jealous
and hours
people
and
in the
hours. And like I
building.
said, there's a hierarchy. There's MrBeast, Tyler, Jackson, the head writer, and Hoodie. Well, Jackson comes down there and we're having a meeting at 9 o'clock at night. The meeting goes all the way to midnight, and then they say at the very end, we're gonna need all hands on deck on this. We're gonna need the help. We're gonna need the creativity. We need everyone to pull their weight. Does anyone have anything that's gonna help us, with this? And I told them my idea. I brought up every single thing, not only just this idea, but the rest of the video.
Oh,
They
so
loved it.
you was the donkey.
Budget was originally 1.7 million. That intro alone cost 1.7 million dollars. Just
Bro.
the intro alone. And the reason why I didn't want to bring it up immediately was only because if the budget was 1.7 million and I'm here to prove myself, I can't start with going by over budget. Say, well, it would work because who they're going to trust. You're going to trust someone who works there for months or weeks, years, or you're going to trust some guy like me that just flew here a couple days ago. So it was a little risky, but they loved it. We stayed to midnight. They freaking loved it. I got a pat in the back. Jackson was excited. Hoodie was excited. The only person who wasn't excited was a C1 that I kind of stepped over because, like they say in the company, it don't matter if you're C1, C2, C3. C3 can be a C2. C2 can be a C1. C1 can be a C3 by tomorrow. All right, so at this point, I've pitched my idea. They love it. They've set a
Bro,
date.
you got
they set a
blackballed,
location,
bro.
and now they have a new renewed budget for this video, and everything's great. I'm so happy. I text all my friends. I call everyone. I'm like, yeah, dude. And also, so after all that, I'm feeling great. I got a verbal confirmation that I was good to go. Everything everything was perfect. I know about everything was literally perfect until I got home. Until I got home, and that's when everything started to happen. Unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right. And the rest are about receipts.
Bro,
so
that is
at first I was
hurtful,
like,
bro.
you know what?
You catch that inside an
that's
email?
true. Then I started to think
I'd
about
rather
it a
you
little
tell
more.
me
I
that
started to think a
face
little
to
bit more.
face.
I didn't want to let it bother me. I
Real
didn't want to let
man.
it bother me. So I said, hey, Dylan, that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe another time, like you said, candidly, may I ask if I presented myself poorly or rubbed the crew wrongly in any way? Talking about here because I know I did. Also, I sent my receipts. And this is talking about my dog because I had spent like $400 for my dog to be boarded. Sent all that information. He said, hello, Ty. You did not rub anyone the wrong way or present yourself poorly. We're going through some reorganization with the team and are limited on roles we have open for teams.
Cap.
I appreciate you sending a receipt.
Stop
blah,
the
blah,
cap.
blah. Whatever. This is where I started to like say, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. Not a single word until I saw this on Twitter. Just uploaded the most insane video we've ever done.
Okay,
Go watch.
now
Take a
it
look at
makes
this
sense
picture.
on
Take a
why he
good,
was so
hard
hurt.
Look at this picture.
You see,
Does that
you
remind
can't
you of
leave
anything
out
you've seen
certain
so far? Does it
details.
remind you
You
of
have to,
anything
like,
you've seen remotely
go down
close
to the
to
bone.
it? Or
You
does it
feel
look
me?
like the exact same thing that I drew?
Yeah,
The
bro, I
exact
feel you,
same
bro.
thing
I
that
would've been
pitched.
hurt too.
Everything. Do you want to know how much I got paid for that? Zero. I didn't get paid a single dime.
Yeah,
This
'cause
man,
they
this
fired you
company,
before they
his
posted.
employees not only took the time to exploit me, to have me
Yeah, bro,
work
you
for
did
them
get
under
scammed,
the false
bro.
pretenses of a job that wasn't, you know, that they weren't available or able to give at the time. Yet they had many people go in and out, in and out. On my second day, there was like a different group that I saw the day before, and then they were on their last day, and then on my last day there was a group of people that was their first day. You're trying to tell me you didn't have any positions?
tell this
you didn't
guy's
have
serious,
any
like his
position
eyes
at
is
all. At all,
open.
yet you had all those people, and not only did you
Look
do
at
that,
that.
you
Like he-
used my
like he off or
idea.
something
A
right
lot of
now.
people will say, you know what, legally he had the right to do that. I don't know in what legal standpoint he could. I could be wrong, but let's think about this though. We're talking about a billionaire. We're talking about the world's biggest YouTuber. How is that so hard to just compensate for someone for some work? How hard is it to compensate someone for their ideas that make you millions and made me zero? I don't care if it was legally done or not. Like, think about it. We
Y'all
all
could at
have
least
hearts here.
give
We're
my
all
bro
watching,
right
we're all
here at
watching
least
watching
1K.
YouTube videos for the same exact reason.
That
How
wouldn't
messed up
hurt
is
at
that?
all.
You're a billionaire, dude.
I
It's not
get
like
that
you're some,
the budget was
some guy on the
1.7
street,
million.
or you're some guy on the street.
Oh,
You're a
boo, boo,
billionaire,
boo, boo,
man.
ba,
Pay
ba,
people for
you
their
know?
ideas. Don't just fly them out there, take their ideas, and send them home. You're
Exactly.
giving these people false hope. You're taking their dreams from them. You're taking everything that's about them, their creativeness, their fucking imagination.
Bro.
Imagination. I'm sorry. I'm actually getting worked up right now.
Yeah,
You
I can
can't
see
do
that, bro.
to
Don't
people.
cry.
You can't do that to people. And on top of that, with everything going in the media, it just kind of shows his true colors. It shows the true nature, your character of who you are. This ain't it, man. This seriously is not it. This
Bro,
is just
you
part
should have
one
speak
because I
up
believe
sooner.
part two will shock you, and I don't want to get to the point where I have to do
2024,
part two, and I really have to
6 months,
expose a lot
on the
of things that
15th.
might get me sued. So I'm working on something right now. I know this may sound really crazy because, you know, I'm asking for money, and that's basically what I'm doing with Mr.beast. I want him to pay me. He owes me this money. He
Took
owes
you
me
like
this.
3 months to
He can't-
speak up, bro.
You can't just keep doing this to people. You
Anyway.
can't do this. So I'm asking you guys,
I feel
if you
your
believe
pain.
everything that I've said,
I understand that Mr. Beast did some dirt. And that's no cap. But I for sure know some more people are going to come out and speak just off of this. And we'll be there for that. Jeez, it's Ray Star. We'll be back with another reaction. See y'all later. Like and subscribe.